Okay, Mario once again, and in this video, I am going to talk a little bit about the parts that I did for my steering mechanism here. I mean, I've done stuff like this before. This is nothing new, but and it may sound like I'm just coming up with these things, but this is a little bit different. I mean, to effect the steering on this front section here, I completely dismantled the whole car, and as I'm painting some parts, I'm actually going to well, since I'm already talking about this, I already went and got some additional tubing here, EMT tubing, 3/4 inch. These are the ones that I bent originally. I had this bent a little bit extreme, and then I try to unbend some of those, but I got these kinks here, these weird dents here. So I decided, you know what, for about $10 I can just get another 10-foot section. These are about 5 feet, so I can rebuild this for $10. So that's what I did. I can always use these sections of this EMT tubing for something else. Even these curves I can use, because this side is good. This right here was a little bit, it got a little bit creased as I was unbending, trying to make these bends a little more lower profile than and not so defined as I had it originally done. But anyway, so I will redo this, and then once I do that, I will paint it. I was going to paint these as they are, but I figured, it's probably going to look a little ugly that way. This was bothering me. This point right here, not so much the front, because the front is not too bad, but the section right here at the rear. So I'm going to do this really clean. It'll also give me an opportunity to take my bender, which is sitting right here. That's my board. It's been sitting here in the weather. It's gone through rain and sun. So I am going to do this better, so that I can have more precision in my bends, so I don't have to kind of calibrate, from one bend to the other one. That's when you start getting waves in the bend. So if I were to do that setup on a flat steel table, so something solid, I wouldn't have that issue. Every bend would come up precise, to that, and I can also put a protractor to establish, two vertical angles if I wanted to do something at 90 degrees, from one bend to the other. So I'm gonna do these. They're going to be very nice, much better than before. At the cost of $10, which I don't mind spending, $10 in tubing and just my time. So I will be taking care of that. I wanted to kind of cover that, since I already started talking about that section. This is my steering column, as I was saying, and what I did was I actually welded this. I actually welded a bolt there. This is a I think this is 7/16 by about an inch long. I ended up cutting the bolt and just cleaning the end here, but I welded that bolt right inside there. I took the head and I shaped it just a little bit, because the hex part of the bolt almost fits inside the EMT tubing there, but I just took it on the lathe and it just kind of shaped just a sliver off of the hex points there, and I was able to press that in there nice and tight, and then came back and just spot welded. Then I completed the weld, cleaned it up with a grinder. So this is ready for painting. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to establish something very simple. And once again, the purpose of this whole assembly is to make it as simple as I can, but maintaining a very customized and almost professional look, if you will. And so, I still want to use these parts here as my supports. So this part right here is going to be supported on this front end here, which is support for my spindles. And this part right here actually, okay, so that part right there is actually going to thread into this. This is another EMT tubing that it's got my my famous bow tie press end on it on one side, and then what I did was I inserted a nut there, a 7/16 threaded nut, welded that. I just painted this this morning, and I'm gonna also paint this as well. And so this goes in there like that. And so the idea is to have the other arm, another arm right here, another of these connectors right there, with the with another insert right here, the tubing that has the flat, this part right here, or a similar part, because this is from another part that I did. But it's going to have that right there. It'll mate with this connector right there, and this flat right here will be flat and rounded with a center hole, and that's going to hold my linkages here, my my tie rods. I'm also ordering some new tie rods because these are a little bit too long, and the other ones that I order also recently are a little bit too short. I can always use these tie rods. I mean, it's just hardware that is you know, you can never be have too many of these things, because they you know, if you work on projects like this, they come in handy. So I have another order for one that's about an inch smaller than this, so it'll allow me to adjust it and just get it just right. This would work, but I would have to put it on an angle, and I don't want that on an angle, so I want this more parallel with this bar right here. So when I get those tie rods, they'll go in this assembly here. Okay, so this is going to be threaded actually. So talking about this part right here, this part right here is going to be, just take it out of here. Let's see if I can pull it out. This part right here is going to go in there all the way like that. It's going to be clamped with the bolt, and because this can pivot at any angle, you know, I can adjust my height here for my steering shaft or column, or not column, my steering rod here, and that's going to go in there because it's threaded. So that's going to go in there threaded like that. I have to clean the threads a little bit there because of the paint there, but that'll go all the way down to about one or two threads before it hits the bottom here, and that'll allow me to pivot this left and right, you know, to far enough extents that it'll affect my turning my turn control. So that'll go right there on an angle like that, and this will pivot because it's threaded. I have done this before with somebody's cleaning somebody's yard here. I have done this before with just a solid rod, a smooth rod through ball bearings. That's one way I did one go-kart. Another go-kart that I did kind of a similar setup, but I embedded the thread all the way inside with a self-retaining sort of nut adapter that had also Delrin. It was just a Delrin part that was drilled to allow that smooth shaft to pivot inside. So that's why I got, but it would retain itself similar to in similar fashion to a connector like this. And that's one of my, on another cart that I did. If you watch my videos, you probably stumble upon those details there. So it's just going to be threaded, you know, and I just decided to do that way for simplicity. And of course, this is going to have the so we'll have my other adapter, like I was saying, with this other part. These are all, you know, with these bow tie connectors here that you will be more permanent in these couplers here, in these maker pipe connectors, and so that'll give you my steering arm left and right. This right here will have to sit on this part right here that supports it. but because this particular part is not a maker pipe connector, this is I bought this for a 1-inch pipe, and I bought this through Amazon. You know, it's this right here will certainly allow this tube to pivot inside with some kind of a an adapter here. So I'm going to make some Delrin shoulder washers like I did on my other go-kart, and just 2 shoulder washers, one at the top, one at the bottom here, and that'll be my bearing for this EMT 3/4 EMT conduit, so it'll pivot inside this bracket here, while the bracket still supports the ladder diagonals here that are part of the support of the frame, that support also on an angle this 16 inches from the base here. So that's these right here. So I'm going to be painting these parts. These are ready to be painted. This is also ready to be painted. Once these are painted, I'll reassemble it as you see it here. So I'm going to put this part back in the sun, so it'll cook, it'll fully cure. Maybe leave it for a couple more days, as I did these parts right here. These you know, I left these in the sun for 3 days, but now we're on the 4th, 5th day, so it's these parts are good. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now with these parts. I just wanted to capture this on video, just as a record keeping, another detail that I thought would be interesting to showcase how I do these things. You know, and it keeps it nice and clean. You see that? I was going to weld this. I was talking about in my other video, part 4A and 4B, where I show my CAD model, how I wanted to weld. You know, when I was looking at this, I go, you know what? Do I really want to weld here? I mean, that means I would have had to take this apart and then establish the angle, and I didn't want to lock myself to a particular angle there. And so this allows me to put any angle I want there. So if I want my steering column a little bit higher, I can just swivel that up and down and just tighten it right here, and it'll retain itself, because this is threaded here and this is not going anywhere. And once that part is there, you know, with a bolt right through it, it's not going anywhere. So it's a nice clean way to do this setup right here. You know, it's threaded. You know, as long as you don't thread it all the way where it's going to be locking on a very tight angle. You know, you want to have as much throw on both sides. You know, so that's why I said, you know, this is going to be come up to, and I'm going to leave about 2 threads spacing there to allow this to pivot, fully pivot, you know, all the way left and right, you know, to execute the left and right turn through the connection rods to the spindles. So yeah, I'm going to be taking this there's not aluminum. I keep saying aluminum. It looks like aluminum, but it's not. This EMT tubing. These are $10 a piece, you know, which is not bad. It's about $1 per foot. And cutting this to 2 5-footers, and then I'm going to start my bending here. I'm going to make a nice clean frame here, and once I do that, I'll paint that. Once all that's done, I'll come back, reassemble here, and then I'll start working on the seat and the drive system. This drive system right here that I'm going to employ, I'm going to have to either change this and put you know, the wheels that, like I did on my racing go-kart, where I embedded the motor into one of these wheels here. These are actually inflatable wheels, the ones that I embedded the tire onto the brushless motors from the hoverboard. Those are not inflatable. Those are just some high density polyurethane that I had to come and cut with a 5-inch circular saw right through that, and then I pressed that onto the aluminum part of the motor, and that's how that's how I did my drive with a bigger tire, instead of having those little tires that the motors typically come with. So I may do the same thing here. This is going to require, like I said, a different mount for the supporting those motors, you know, the hoverboard motors, or I'm going to have to see if I can put some kind of I don't like using external pieces like chains and drives Um, you know, as I did originally on my racing go-kart. In fact, I ended up taking all that stuff away just to go direct drive, on the have the motor as part of the tire. And so, but the other option would be, to put some sprocket here and chain drive that to the motor. Like typically like all these scooters are done, with the chain drive, and also regular go-karts are done. Uh, so we'll see how this turns out. I'm still my mind is still on redoing the frame and making all these connections, having all this nice and clean, and then the drive system will be the last thing I do here. But pretty much the cart is looking very, very spiffy. Um, so this is where I'm at right now. This will be video number 5 of this enhancements to this MIA hover cart. I'm calling this the hover cart. Just for obvious reasons. It's it's a go-kart, and it uses hoverboard parts, so hover kart. I'm pretty sure that's not that's something logical and common sense that when you do stuff like this, you come up with. Stay tuned for more.